How do you know when you're ready for retirement? Many people believe retirement is mostly made up of cruises and bucket list once-in-a-lifetime trips. But in reality, it's mostly made up of Tuesday mornings. And I'll explain what I mean. For most of your working life, retirement sits somewhere off in the distance. It's a vague number on a spreadsheet. And then one day, it stops being theoretical. There's an actual date on your calendar where you're gonna wake up and never go to work again. And I'm gonna bring clarity to the question, am I ready for this? So that when that day comes, you can have the confidence and peace of mind to know that you are. And to do that, we have to understand that most people treat retirement as a financial event. Something that you work, you save, you hit a specific number, and then your investments replace your paycheck. If the number works, you conclude that you're ready. But there's a problem with only thinking of it as a purely financial event, when in reality, there's actually 3 different retirements that you're going to experience. Number 1 is the financial retirement, and that's the one most people think of. Number 2 is you actually have a social retirement. And number 3, there's a psychological retirement as well. And the reality is most people have only ever planned for the first one. Let's walk through all 3 so that you're asking the right questions from the beginning. Number 1 is the financial retirement. Now, this is often the most obvious one. For decades, the cash has mostly flowed in one direction. It goes from work to paychecks, paycheck to bills, bills to save and invest. You've become excellent at accumulating money. Don't touch the RRSPs, you maximize the tax-free savings. You let your portfolio grow for you. Then you retire, and almost overnight, you are asked to reverse a 40-year-old habit so that instead of money flowing into your investments, it gets flipped and the investments now need to flow to produce income for you. Your RSPs might pay for some of your groceries, while your tax-free savings might pay for travel, and CPP and OAS become a part of your monthly cash flow to cover the housing expenses. However you set it up. The portfolio that you have spent decades growing now needs to send money back to you. The best time to start thinking about this question is about 12 months before you actually want to retire. That's when the most important shift happens. Do I have enough, which is what got us here, to how is it actually going to work? Think of it like building a house. You could have $800,000 of lumber, concrete, windows, wiring, all sitting on an empty lot. Technically, you have everything required, but you don't yet have a house. You still need to build a blueprint for the specific house that you're wanting to live in. That blueprint will answer questions like, where will January's income come from? Which accounts do I draw from first? How much tax should I expect? When do CPP and OAS start? How much cash buffer do I need? And if the markets drop 25% in the first 6 months after I retire, where does the spending money come from while I wait it out? Your RRSPs and TFSA, pension incomes, CPP, OAS, and any other investment accounts are all the building materials. And your retirement income strategy is the blueprint. Being financially ready isn't about just hitting some sort of arbitrary number. It's about the confidence and peace of mind that comes from understanding how all of your resources together will actually support the life that you want. And that's exactly what we cover with our clients. At the end of this video, what I'll do is I'll share a link to another one that walks through exactly our approach called the nest egg strategy to help with that structure. I won't go deep into specifics here, but the outcome of the nest egg strategy is pretty simple. By the time your final paycheck arrives from work, with the nest egg strategy, it will feel like stepping onto a new platform of security and freedom. You know exactly where your next paycheck's coming and the one after that. Now let's imagine that you've approved the blueprint for your financial income plan and your income is secured, your taxes are organized, and you have enough and you're feeling confident. So congratulations. You've covered the first of the 3 retirements. You are financially retired. Now imagine it's your first Monday of retirement. You've slept in because after all, you've earned it. You've maybe caught up on a few things around the house and it feels good not having to head into the office. You're proud of yourself while all your friends and colleagues are on their way to work. It's a good first day. Now it's Tuesday morning. You've already cleaned the house and no one has called or texted because they're probably busy working, and you're sitting there with your coffee thinking, what am I gonna do now? Retirement number 2 is the social retirement. This is one of the most underestimated changes with retirement because work quietly provides something that we rarely value in the moment: socialization and connection. Just think about a normal working day. Someone asks you, hey, how was your weekend? And you talk a while, perhaps over a bit of a coffee. Maybe a client calls you and a coworker asks your opinion. You guys solve a problem together. Someone tells you that same terrible joke they've told you for the 12th time, and none of these moments feel particularly important on their own, but collectively, they create connection and belonging that you might not have even realized was there. You were actually part of a group that knows who you are and expects you to show up tomorrow. Then you retired. Now at first, this freedom feels fantastic. There's no alarms, there's no commute, no meetings, coffee at 9:30, and you wonder why didn't you retire earlier? But what can happen is the thrill of that first Monday off slowly transitions and becomes the quiet monotony of the eternal Tuesday. Unlimited freedom creates a problem that most of us haven't had to deal with since childhood. You actually have to decide what to do with all of your time. Now, for most people, work represents a significant percentage of their daily social contact. And when that ends, there's often a very real gap. And without conscious preparation, many people can find themselves feeling a certain level of emptiness that they weren't expecting. So what we recommend is 12 months before you're ready to retire, you should ask yourself, if I stopped working tomorrow, which relationships would still be active next week or next month or 6 months from now? And it's not how many people do you have in your phone or social media, it's who would actually call you on a Tuesday morning, or who would answer if you called. And this isn't about needing some gigantic social circle. Some people really thrive on the solitude that retirement provides. Well, others need more interaction. Just make sure that what you need isn't coming almost entirely from the thing that you're about to remove. Another common thought is that, well, I'm married, I'm just gonna spend more time with my spouse. Sometimes what we see is that the partnerships itself also change throughout these life stages. For instance, you may have dreamed for years about finally having some more time together. Your spouse may have also spent those same years building a perfectly enjoyable Tuesday without you. Exercise, lunch with friends, gardening, volunteering. Their life is full, and then suddenly, you're sitting in the kitchen at 9:15 asking, so what are we doing today? Your vision might be, we finally get to do everything together. And their vision might be, I'm happy you're retired, but you really need to get a hobby. All this to say is that retirement simply creates a new negotiation around time, independence, and togetherness. And preparing for your social retirement, have conversations that have nothing to do with investment returns. Ask yourself, how much time do we want together? What do we enjoy doing separately? Who are our friends outside of work? And what will a new ordinary week look like for me? The activity doesn't really matter. What we're looking for here is the recurring connection. If for most people, 90% of their social life comes from work, you're highly concentrated in that one asset. And retirement is about to remove your largest holding. The year before is a good time to start diversifying. Don't wait until 6 months after retirement when you finally realize what you're feeling is lonely to begin building that new community. The third retirement is the psychological retirement. This is the deepest transition and often the least discussed one. Think of it this way. At a dinner party, someone might ask, so what do you do? We rarely answer that question literally. We usually answer with our occupation. And we say something like, oh, I'm an engineer, I'm a nurse, I'm a teacher, or I'm an accountant. Notice we didn't actually say, I perform accounting duties. We say, I am an accountant. And what we see when we're working with our clients is that often what can happen is that work becomes intertwined with our identities. If you just spent the last 35 years becoming highly skilled at something, solving problems and helping people, it becomes part of who you are. And our identities give us orientation in the world that is full of boundless opportunities. Then that date on the calendar finally shows up, and on your last Friday, someone hands you a cake, shakes your hand, and says, "Congratulations. You are no longer one of the largest things that have given your life structure and orientation." And that can literally feel like the bottom has fallen out for some people. If nobody needs me to be that person and be who I am anymore, then who am I now? Now, I don't want to overstate this because for many people, retirement is overwhelmingly positive. They sleep better, move more, travel, spend time with grandchildren, garden, read, and finally pursue the interests that were squeezed into only the evenings in the previous decades. But even positive transitions are still psychological transitions. And one of the best tools that I have used to help our clients orientate themselves is what we call the values ladder exercise. I've guided hundreds of people through it, and you can actually do it on your own. You start with paper and a pen and one simple question: what's important about money to me? What you do is you take that piece of paper and you write down somewhere in the left-hand side, money. And now what you do is you ask yourself, what's important about money to me? And there is no right or wrong answer. It could take, a few minutes to really come up with something, or it could jump to the front of your mind in a matter of seconds. What you do next is you distill that thought into a phrase or a word. For example, if you ask, what's important about money to me? A very common first response might look something like security or covering the basics. So what you do is you take that and you write that next to money. Then what you do is you ask, what's important about security to me? Again, take your time. Think about deeply, why do you want security? What's important about security to you? Often what that could look like is, maybe if I had more security, if I have that security, then I'm gonna feel less stress. Perfect. You capture that and you write that next. And what you do is you keep asking, what's important about next answer to me? And as you do that, you will slowly start to distill and peel away the layers of truly and fundamentally what's important about money to you. And this is a great exercise to help us reorientate ourselves when we are no longer able to identify with our previous occupation. So if we carry this on, security might lead to less stress. Less stress might lead to more time being present with my family. And what's important about being present with your family is leading to deeper connections. And what's important about that is being able to become more of the person that you want to be, or helping others. And what's important about that is having a fulfilling life. And what's important about that is a sense of peace. And as you can see, we started with this idea of money. And our previous occupation was the thing that we used to get it. But in reality, we don't want the money. We want that peace. We're looking for those connections, and money enables us to do that. So we no longer have to rely on our identity. When our values are clear, the decision becomes easy. Anytime you want to make a decision going forward, what you can do is you can take that decision and you can run it up your values ladder. And if at any point that question or that decision no longer aligns with those higher level values, you can confidently pass on it without feeling like you're missing anything, because you know it wasn't aligned with what's important to you. If you can build a retired life where an ordinary Tuesday is informed deeply by your values, the connections with others, and enough financial security, you have successfully tackled the 3 retirements. And to tie all this together, if you're asking yourself the question, am I ready? We now know we don't just answer with number 1. We think about all 3. The financial retirement. Do you know where your income will come from when the last paycheck stops? The social retirement. Do you have people and community that will still be there when work isn't? The psychological retirement. What's important about money to me, and what will give an ordinary Tuesday meaning when I no longer can identify with my occupation? Good financial planning isn't just about getting you to retirement. It should be about helping you build a life that you're actually excited to live once you get there, financially, socially, and psychologically. Now, if you think about preparing for all three, you're a lot closer to answering that question, am I ready, than you initially thought. So if you're within a year or two of retirement and you want help turning all those building materials into a real blueprint, you can find a link to our website to learn more in the description below. And as I mentioned earlier, if you want to go deeper into the specific nest egg strategy and how that solves the financial retirement for you, you can watch that next video by clicking over here. I'll see you in the next one.